Hello everyone. I'm doing a 1 week review now of my MacBook. I've had it for a week and I've loved it so far, and I'm going to try to do an in-depth overview of it, and both the goods and the bads. So I'll try to keep it under the time limit of 10 minutes. I'm going to start with the outside. I really like the white glossy plastic, and it looks like it. When I first took it out, I realized it looks like a fingerprint magnet, and it really is a fingerprint magnet. It gets fingerprinty really easy, but I don't really mind it very much because you can't really tell that there are tons of fingerprints on it unless you're looking for it. It's not like, holy cow, fingerprint. It's just kind of. Yeah, you really don't know it's there unless you're looking for it. I really think I love the magnetic latch and the MagSafe power adapter. Those work really well. I love that. Okay, and that's pretty much all there is to talk about here. The bottom, I really like the rubber non-slip bottom, but I don't know if the desks at my school are really dirty or what, but it seems like this gets scuff marks really easily. I mean, they'll wipe right off with just like a wet paper towel or something, but it seems like this gets scuffed up really easy. But I do love the rubber bottom. Okay, so I'll go inside real quick and talk about this stuff. Okay, so I'll just kind of work my way up the computer. Okay, so the trackpad. I really like how big the trackpad is. It's a really nice big glass trackpad, and I love how the whole thing is a button. I will say though, is like just using one finger, especially with like clicking and dragging, it does get tiring after a while. But luckily Apple thought of this, and you can just like kind of stick your hand on like this. I don't know if you can see this right. I'll try to hold this with my other hand, but you can just like go like this and pretend it's normal trackpad, so I can click with my thumb and still use my finger to point. It still works just fine. So, they did think of that so that you can use two fingers if you want to, because I really liked being able to do this, but it does get tiring after a little bit to do that. And I really like that one of the things you can turn on is just like clicking down here in this corner, and it does a right click. I like that a lot. Okay, so now on to the keyboard. When I took this out of the box, I was like, I liked the keyboard. I really liked the way the keyboard looks, but I'll be honest, I was afraid that it was going to be a really uncomfortable keyboard to type on. But I've been pleasantly surprised. It actually is way more comfortable to type on than you'd think it is. You can't really tell by looking at it, but you can kind of feel that they're actually a little bit curved. They're not perfectly flat. And yeah, I really like the keyboard. Okay, not much to talk about the power button. I like how small it is. It just kind of blends in when you're not using it. Okay, and then this is really OCD of me, but let me take off the camera again. This is where the microphone is, this little grill thing right here. And this is a really good place for the microphone. I like it there. But the thing is I am so flippin' OCD with my computer. This is a really stupid thing to be mad about. But when I'm staring at the screen, I always see this out of the corner of my eye and think it's something dirty that's like gotten on my laptop, like chocolate or something. I don't know. But then I look down and it's just the grill, and it keeps on setting me off. So, I mean, it's just a stupid little OCD thing. But anyway. So onto the screen. I really like this screen. It looks really good, and it actually goes way bright for a laptop screen. I'm impressed with how bright this screen goes, and yeah, I really like that about the screen. Not much to talk about the webcam. Okay, so the speakers and the fan. It took me a couple days to figure this out, but I could not figure out where on earth the fans and the speakers were. I mean, I could tell the sound was coming from like somewhere back here, but I could not figure out where on earth it was. But I finally figured it out, and I'll show you guys. If you look back here, like behind the hinge, you can't see it super well with the camera, but there's like a little grill back here behind the hinge. and that's where the hot air blows out and where the speakers are. And I thought that was really creative, and I like how they hid it like that. And while we're talking about fans, I love how quiet this computer is. Even when the fan is going full speed, like while I'm playing a 3D game or something, it still is half as loud as my old laptop was. So I really like that. And when the fan's going, that's the other thing I hated about my old laptop, is when the fan was going, it was this high-pitched, really annoying kind of a thing. But what I like about this fan is even like when you can hear it going, you don't even really hear the motor. You just kind of hear the air whooshing. And that's a much more pleasant sound to hear as far as the fan goes. But I mean, how much can you talk about the fan? Anyway, so the speakers is another thing I wanted to talk about. The speakers actually go pretty loud on this. I like the sound. They have really good sound. And Apple notebook speakers have never sounded tinny, but they have sounded kind of hollow before. And these speakers do sound a little bit hollow. That's weird, a little bit of lag there. Anyway, they do sound a little bit hollow, but not as bad as they have been previously. Overall, they have really good sound for laptop speakers. Okay, and then the last hardware-related thing I want to talk about. Let me get something real quick. Last hardware thing I want to talk about was the optical drive. I really like the slot loading drive, but the weird thing about it, and I guess I've never had a Mac before, like I said, so I don't know, but I guess one of the things that's new to this MacBook, they just barely added it, is with the slot loading drive. Here, I'll move so you can see, but you have to push it in like almost all the way in before it actually sucks it in. And I guess that's new to this model of MacBook, and I'm not really sure whether I like that yet or not. I mean, I guess it's nice so there's less danger of this disk getting caught on something and ruining your drive, but I guess that's why they did it. Like I said, I'm not really sure whether I like that or not, but you know, it's not that big of a thing. So yeah, launch DVD player there. And then, so yeah, that's all the hardware stuff, and I only have a couple more minutes left, so I'll try really quick to talk about software stuff. Okay, iTunes. If you'll notice, most of the, I'll zoom in here a little bit. Stupid tripod, come on. I hate this tripod. Anyway, so if you'll notice, most of the songs along here have a little exclamation point thingy. And the reason that is because almost all of my music is on the server in my house. It's not actually on my computer, it's just on the server. And this is one of the things that's kind of bugged me about OS X that I miss from Windows, is Windows would connect to the server automatically, but I have to manually connect to the server every time with Finder before I can get to my music in iTunes. And then another thing is, most of the time when I try to play music, here, I'll turn this down real quick. Most of the time when I try to play music from the server using iTunes, it freezes up, and it just barely stopped freezing up. So I don't know what it is, but today it's not doing it, but it oftentimes freezes up, so I have to do a force quit on it. Okay, so yeah, that's iTunes, and it looks like I'll have to do another video about covering Boot Camp, because I have quite a bit to say about Boot Camp. But I am not pleased with Boot Camp. I mean, now that I've got it set up, it works fine and I love it, but setting up Boot Camp was a pain, and I am not happy about it. But overall, I love this computer. I'll add a link to the video about Boot Camp since I don't have time to talk about it in this one. But yeah, this is my MacBook. Cool. See ya.